Myself Piyusha Shedgar, Electronics and Telecommunication Engineering Department, Walchand Institute of Technology, Solapur. In today's session, we'll see the topic Pointing Theorem. These are the learning outcomes for this session. At the end of this session, students will be able to derive the expression for power flow. They will be able to give the physical interpretation of power flow. These are the contents for today's session. So before going to start today's topic, that is Pointing Theorem, you can pause video here for a second and recall that what is meant by electromagnetic waves. As you know that Pointing Theorem relates to EM wave, that is electromagnetic wave. So you should know what is electromagnetic waves. Yes, the electromagnetic waves or EM waves are the waves that are created as a result of vibrations between an electric field and a magnetic field. So these electric field and the magnetic fields are perpendicular to each other, and also they are perpendicular to the direction of the propagation of the wave. So what is Pointing vector? So Pointing vector, which describes the energy of the electromagnetic wave per unit time per unit area, that is, it is related to the power of the electromagnetic wave at any given instant of the time. Whereas this Pointing vector firstly derived by John Henry Pointing in 1884, and after that it gives name as Pointing vector. So it's related to the area and the power, and thus the unit for SI unit for this Pointing vector is watt per meter square. So what is electromagnetic wave? Again there's some introduction related to EM wave. So antennas radiates into the space with this electromagnetic energy to transmit and receive the information, whereas this EM wave which having the energy and power, so it travels with this energy and power. Electromagnetic wave which having both, that is electric and the magnetic fields which are perpendicular to each other. Now this figure shows the electric and the magnetic fields. So both the fields are right angle to each other. So what is Pointing vector? So how it is related to the electromagnetic waves? So in electromagnetic waves traveling through the space which carry the energy, as they are propagating through the space, they can transfer their energy to the objects in their path. Now the rate of transfer of this energy by an electromagnetic wave is described by a particular vector which is defined as Pointing vector. So Pointing vector gives the rate of energy transfer per unit area by the electromagnetic wave. So let us check this diagram which having the three axes, x axis, y axis and z axis. So one of the axes along that the electric field is considered, on the other axis, that is horizontal axis, is used for the magnetic field. So these two are perpendicular to each other. Then the wave propagation direction is suppose in this direction, then the direction of the Pointing vector is denotes in the direction of the propagation of the wave. Again this is perpendicular to these two fields. So the Pointing vector is defined by the p bar vector, or also it can be defined by this s bar vector. So the p bar vector is given by the cross product between the electric field and the magnetic field. The direction of this Pointing vector is in the direction of the propagation of the wave. So this Pointing vector is depend on the time, so it's time dependent, and its magnitude is varies with the time. Some of the characteristics of the Pointing vector. So the direction of the Pointing vector is along the direction of the propagation of the electromagnetic wave. It gives the instantaneous power density. Average Pointing vector gives the average power crossing a unit area placed perpendicular to the incident wave. So let us define the Pointing theorem along with the derivation. So the MMF equation, that is magnetomotive force equation, is given by del cross H bar is equal to J bar plus D bar dot, whereas D bar dot is nothing but it shows the partial differentiation of D bar with respect to time. Therefore D bar dot is nothing but dou D bar by dou T. So you know that the J bar is J bar plus D bar dot is equal to del cross H bar. So rearrange this equation in terms of the J bar. So you're getting the equation number 2 as J bar is equal to del cross H bar minus D bar dot. So D bar dot, how it relates to the E bar. So D bar is given by the equation epsilon E bar. So instead of D bar you can put it as epsilon E bar, but here the D bar is overhead, the dot is given, therefore overhead of this E bar, the dot is also given for this E bar also. So the J bar is equal to del cross H bar minus epsilon E bar dot. So in order to convert this J bar from the dimension of the current density to power per unit volume, we have to multiply by E bar on both sides of the above equation. So what you are getting, E bar dot J bar is equal to E bar dot del cross H bar minus epsilon E bar dot E bar dot. So there is one of the vector identity which is given by this equation number 4 as del dot of A bar cross B bar given by B dot del cross A bar minus A dot del cross B bar. Similarly, this can be written as A can be taken as outside of this bracket, whereas the del can be taken inside the bracket as del A dot del cross B is equal to minus del dot A cross B plus B dot A cross del cross A. So this means that in our case these vectors are nothing but E and H. Instead of A and B you can put as E and H, so that you are getting the same equation as by taking the reference of this fifth equation. E dot del cross H is equal to minus del dot E cross H plus H dot del cross E. Now put all these equation in the above equation number 3. So what you are getting, E bar dot J bar is equal to H bar dot del cross E bar minus del of E bar cross H bar minus epsilon E bar dot. So using the second Maxwell equation, which is given by del cross E bar is equal to minus mu H bar dot. So put this equation in above equation, that is equation number 7. So you are getting del E bar dot J bar is equal to minus mu H bar dot, instead of this del cross E bar, minus mu H bar dot H bar overhead dot minus epsilon E bar dot overhead of this E bar as a dot minus del of E bar cross H bar. Now H bar dot H bar dot with H bar dot is equal to 1 by 2 dou by dou T H square, and similar to that for the electric field you are getting the equation as 1 by 2 dou by dou T E square. So instead of this E bar dot of E dot, H bar dot of H dot, you can put this values in equation number 8. So that you are getting the equation as mu by 2 dou by dou T H square minus epsilon by 2 dou by dou T E square minus del dot E bar cross H bar. So this is equation number 9. So integrate this whole equation over the volume V. So you are getting integration of this whole equation number 9 with respect to volume, therefore V is written here. So using the divergence theorem, the above last term can be changed from volume integration to the surface integration. So this last term is with respect to the volume. So divergence theorem is given by the integration of the any vector with respect to volume can be equated to the surface integration. So replace this volume integration by using divergence to the surface integration, whereas these two terms remain same. So you are getting del dot E bar cross H bar dV can be replaced by surface integration for the closed surface, and therefore circle is there on this integration sign. So it becomes E bar cross H bar dot ds bar. So by replacing the last term by this volume to surface integration, you are getting the equation number 12. So it having these three terms. So what is the physical significance of this term? So the first term denotes the instantaneous power which is dissipated in the given volume V, and the second term which can be considered as which is nothing but the stored energy in the volume V, so which having the electric as well as the magnetic field energy. Okay, but along with the negative sign, it can be considered that the stored energy in the volume is in the decreasing form, whereas the third term E bar cross H bar with respect to surface integration, which gives the rate of flow of energy which is in the inward through the surface of the volume. So this is how you can take the physical interpretation of the Poynting theorem. So the rate of energy dissipation in the volume V must equal the rate at which the stored energy in V is decreasing plus the rate at which the energy is entering the volume V from the outside, and therefore with the negative sign, the last term, that is surface integration for the closed surface E bar cross H bar ds bar, it is given as the rate of flow of energy inward through the surface of the volume, whereas with the positive sign, that is surface integration of E bar cross H bar gives the rate of flow of the energy in the outward direction through the surface enclosing the volume. So this is how you can define or derive the Poynting theorem, and you can give the physical interpretation for the power flow. So the integral of this E bar cross H bar over any surface gives the rate of energy flow through that surface, and therefore the vector P bar is defined as the Poynting vector, which is given by E bar cross H bar, has the dimension of watt per square meter. In Poynting theorem, this vector product, that is P bar is equal to E bar cross H bar at any point, is a measure of the rate of energy flow per unit area at that point. So direction of this flow is perpendicular to E bar and H bar in the direction of the given vector E bar cross H bar. The Poynting theorem relates the incoming energy, outgoing energy, energy stored, and also energy dissipated in the system. Thus Poynting theorem gives the energy balance in the system, whereas this energy is related to the electric as well as the magnetic field. These are the references used for today's session. Thank you.